right, welcome back, everybody. Live from London, United Kingdom. It's time to resume play here for the first day of Gfinity Spring Masters Cup number 2. We just saw Firebat win his first series and advance to the round of 8, and I'm joined by two new faces here in the analyst corner. We have Nimsh, who is just casting. We have Airblad? Aquablad? Sorry, I was thinking Airbrush. Aquablad. We haven't actually got a chance to work together yet, but it should be a fun time. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, because we haven't really seen too much of you in the past.
All right, so I'm Aquablad. I was here last time at the Gfinity Masters. Very involved in the UK scene for Hearthstone, organise events, to do a bit of casting, do a bit of playing. So yeah, just mainly a very UK-orientated Hearthstone player and organizer.
So you're a player first, or are you an organizer first?
A bit of a jack of all trades at the moment, player, caster, organizer. So yeah, I kind of juggle between everything.
Okay, fair enough. And Nimsh, what do you identify as nowadays? Are you a team captain? Are you a player? Are you a caster?
Let's say I'm a community person. Like
you're a community guy first.
I'm still like a team captain of Cloud9, and I'm just serving my team as best as possible.
Right.
I'm still playing a lot. Like I play the Sea Story Cup. I'm playing a lot of Ladder, but then I'm casting a lot as well. So I guess like I'm a jack of all trades, kind of.
Gotcha. Well, we just have very versatile people here, and a Polish comedian. Our next series we have is Lifecoach versus BunnyMuffins. This one's a really good matchup because I actually know BunnyMuffins pretty well, personally. I've gotten a chance to work with him a lot. He actually writes a lot of cool content for Tempo Storm, and I've actually known him for a couple months now.
Is it BunnyMuffins or BunnyMuffin?
I don't think it really matters if it's plural or singular. In this case, it's still very cute.
I actually got to speak to him a lot yesterday. We watched a lot of the games from yesterday together, and we were just like chatting, and he seems very knowledgeable of the game. Like he was going through some of the plays and stuff like that. Yep. Some of the things he would have done differently, or some of the stuff he agrees with. But yeah, I did read up that he does write for Tempo Storm, and yeah, he's just saying he likes playing consistent decks. He doesn't like playing anything too gimmicky. He likes solid decks.
Right.
So yeah,
he's actually from the US, right? He is originally from New York. DC. Yeah, but originally from New York, if I remember correctly.
Cool. Yeah, he's really young. I think he's 17, 18 years old.
Oh,
One of the youngest players here in this entire tournament. I mean, Firebat's usually the kid around here because he just turned 19, but BunnyMuffins is going to be one of the really young players coming in here. So it's actually really cool to see him. I actually have some fun facts to drop about BunnyMuffins as the series progresses, but we also have a piece that we got a chance to sit down and talk with him before the tournament started. There it is.
Hi, my name is Ryan Tam. I go by BunnyMuffins in Hearthstone, and I am from New York. I qualified for Gfinity's Hearthstone's Spring Masters 2 through playing Open Qualifier. It was actually, I think, the 4th one where there are around like 250 players. So this is actually my first ever LAN event as a player or as a fan. This is not my first time in London. Before, when I came here, I went like through all the sightseeing and all the touristy areas, but this time I'm just here for the Gfinity event. I'd definitely like to continue with gaming, and qualifying for this event and flying over here definitely really boosted like the confidence in myself and my ability at the game. I'm definitely here to win. I didn't take like an 8-hour plane ride and like a weekend off just to come here and like lose in group stages. I came here with the goal of and build all my decks around trying to finish at the top.
All right, so we got an opportunity to hear him. He really wants to win. Of course, everyone coming here wants to win. I don't think anybody comes here intending to lose. So,
there's actually one player who doesn't intend to win. Kroba said he's here purely for fun.
Well, I'm sure like winning is fun to him, unless losing is fun, in which case I actually don't know how to. I mean, he'd be the scariest opponent for me then, because you don't really know how to prepare for a guy like that.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So, BunnyMuffin, I want to drop an interesting fact here. Back when Hype went to China, we didn't really have anyone do the meta snapshot. So what happened was BunnyMuffin actually volunteered to do it, but we didn't actually put his name on. We put him as an anonymous meta insider. And people for a long time speculated, who could that be? Is it someone else who maybe have done the meta snapshot in the past? Or is it somebody that just decided to be cloaked and be anonymous. And actually, it was BunnyMuffin doing a lot of that meta snapshot that people really enjoyed. He's the one who introduced the matchup tables. So he's the guy who actually provided a lot of insight into how the metagame develops. And I think that's something that people were not prepared to think, because they thought this guy was just never going to show his face, but it actually turned out to be him.
And that's actually amazing. Like, the guy who has a great knowledge about the game and is writing about the game, writing articles. That's a great point to start, like, getting into the community. Now he qualified for this tournament.
He knows his stuff, man. Now, of course, his opponent, Lifecoach. Have we ever seen this guy before? Do we know anything about him?
Well, I think we even seen Lifecoach without a shirt, actually. So we know a lot.
We know him very intimately. That's right. I know Lifecoach like I know very few players because I've seen him stream with and without his shirt off. He also actually did a 5-minute AMA the other day. It was hilarious. He turned on his stream. He's like, all right, I'm going to do my AMA. And then he answered like 2 questions and turned off his stream.
That was a sick AMA, I'm sure.
That's right.
What were the questions? Do you remember them? Was it who are you?
They were asking him all kinds of stuff, but of course he answered like 2. He realized his stream wasn't actually really stable. And then he's like, okay, bye. And then he just like logged off. And it was just 5-10 minute AMA. It was really funny.
Lifecoach is so hilarious to be around. Like, the guy
He
is
just does
great.
what he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but he's playing Hearthstone purely for fun. Like, because he has money, he's not playing for money, he's not playing for glory. He's playing to enjoy the game, and he really enjoys it. Like, whenever you meet Lifecoach at those events, he's always approaching people and you're like, hey, I'm Lifecoach, it's good to meet you. Like, I watch your stream, or like, I follow you. And right now, like, Lifecoach was always a great player, but now he's really rising to power. Like, he won many tournaments lately, and he was first in the world for a time. And I think he really deserves to be there in the top. And I'm looking forward to cast him and, like, you know, see.
It's definitely like a toss-up between him and Orange at the moment as kind of most consistent players right now. Like, those 2 players are really strong. So they're quite well. Orange had his victory recently, so maybe if Lifecoach takes this tournament, it becomes more level again of who's the top dog out of those 2. So
I think there's a deal going on somewhere where Orange wins every other event and Lifecoach does really well those off events too. Because Orange won Katowice, then lost by a game first round. Then he won State Story Cup, and now he lost first round here. So I think the next tournament Orange plays in, he's going to win for sure. It's almost guaranteed.
Bucharest?
statistically,
Right, DreamHack Bucharest, actually, he's probably going to win. So put your money on that. But then this is maybe the opportunity for Lifecoach to take one. They can go 2-2 like that. That'd be really cool to see for sure. I think Lifecoach has yet to also get his first offline win. Is that correct? Or
I think that's correct. Like, he won a couple of online events.
That's
and
right.
offline, he had a really good run at DreamHack Bucharest. He was going through the group
4
stages. Yeah, he didn't get an invite. He was actually going through all the stages from the very beginning of the tournament, and he got really high. He didn't win it, but then his run was actually amazing. So he has a lot of experience with the LAN events, and I'm definitely looking forward to his success.
do we have any predictions for this match? I know you guys are going to predict that maybe Lifecoach is the favorite here, but what are the chances for an upset? Because it is Hearthstone.
The thing is, we don't know enough about BunnyMuffin's decks and play. Like, he wouldn't tell me any of his decks, which is perfectly fine. I understand that, but Lifecoach, we kind of have a feel of what he likes to play and what decks he uses. Whereas BunnyMuffin's a bit of an unknown in that department, so maybe that'll play to his advantage against Lifecoach now. And for BunnyMuffin, this is a really important game for him because he's on the big stage now. He's got an opportunity to take down one of the best players in the world right now. So there's a lot on the line for BunnyMuffins, whereas Lifecoach, like you say, he plays this more for pleasure. Even though he's an excellent player, he may not see as much pressure. And so I think, I don't know. We'll have to see what BunnyMuffins has to bring first. I mean, we can't really make a call on it. But I can't personally.
There's like a lot.
Oh, man. Okay, well, I got one vanilla answer. Nimsh, are you going to follow suit and give me a wavery answer too? You're not going to pick him, buddy?
Yeah, I'm going to pick BunnyMuffins as the winner to this match because Lifecoach is a master of preparation and getting different setups, but then we don't know anything about BunnyMuffins. So Lifecoach, if Lifecoach would know anything, he would adjust with his decks. But also, Lifecoach reacts really strongly to unexpected play. So if BunnyMuffins brought something new, something creative, then BunnyMuffins will have an edge versus Lifecoach. If BunnyMuffins brought cookie cutter decks, the Lifecoach will just go through him easily because he's really good with predicting what's happening. So that's my bet. Like, if there's creativity, then BunnyMuffins. If not, if cookie cutters, then Lifecoach will be favorite to win.
All right. So Nimsh, you're play on both sides, but you're leaning towards BunnyMuffins. And I know you're still kind of new to this analysis thing, so I'm going to show you how to do a proper prediction so you look like an idiot, but you look like a genius when you're right. Lifecoach is going to destroy BunnyMuffins, okay? It's not going to even be close. BunnyMuffins is my boy. He actually works with me quite often. He also generates some good content, but he is so new to this stage. He is going to get rocked unless he gets the God draws, because Lifecoach is a player who's been on this stage so many times, and he's able to think very clearly. He will rope for sure, but I think Lifecoach is going to play excellently like he usually does, and he's going to wipe out BunnyMuffins. It's not going to be anything close.
Are you saying that Lifecoach is
Now would you like to make your prediction? I just gave you exactly how you should do it.
Actually, Nimch made a good point about Lifecoach with his preparation. And after BunnyMuffin spoke to me yesterday, he actually said to me he likes consistent decks that are proven that they work. So it'd be very surprising to me if BunnyMuffins brings anything quite unique and strange.
Maybe that's the red herring. He throws you off. But I'm guessing, this is what I'm guessing. I'm going to guess that BunnyMuffin's going to bring something like Druid because he loves that class. And I think he's going to bring something like maybe the Face Hunter because it's very consistent. I think Lifecoach is going to play his stuff that he really likes to play. Handlock, Paladin, Mech Mage.
Mech Warrior.
Mech Warrior, I don't know, man. That'd be really crazy to bring in a tournament. But if he does, that's all the more reason to love Lifecoach.
He thinks it's a very good deck. And by the way, how will BunnyMuffin react to Lifecoach's BM? Because we learned recently that Lifecoach is the most BM player in the world.
He is. Because he ropes every turn, and then afterwards he's so nice to you, you can't be mad at him.
Yeah, he's just rubbing it in.
More mad.
It's like, I really enjoyed the game, and I think you brought good decks. You lost, but you played really well.
I mean, you could use that rope as a good mind game, because when the rope's going down and this new player playing against this like world-class player, you're just waiting for something to happen, and you've got a minute and 30 seconds just waiting for him to either beat you or clear your board or respond to what you've done. So maybe that could be just a mind game that he plays with some of his opponents or most of his opponents, especially the newer ones where they have to just sit there and wait for something to happen to them.
So have you picked a side yet, man? We're waiting. The cast.
I would say Lifecoach after Nimch's statement and after what BunnyMuffin has spoken to me about. I would actually say Lifecoach if he's more, because I think he's going to bring some very predictable stuff because he likes the consistency. He likes the cookie cutter decks that are performing well.
I agree, and that's why I'm rooting for Lifecoach here. And Nimch is pulling for BunnyMuffin, so maybe we will have an upset here in the start of Group C. We're going to give it over to, I believe, Caldi and Lothar, who are ready over at the casting desk.
Thank you, Frodan, and welcome back, guys, to the caster's desk. We are here with Caldi, and we'll be casting the match between Lifecoach and BunnyMuffin. So we know the exact classes for those two players. What can you say me about the BunnyMuffin's classes?
So he's playing Paladin, he's playing Hunter, and he's playing Warrior. Now, I think to note, if he is playing a Hunter, it's looking like it's going to be the Face Hunter. It's been more popular recently, and that's going to be really strong. Both the Paladin and the Hunter are going to be really strong against the Druid that Lifecoach has. But I'm most interested about the Warrior. Now, Warrior was conventionally only the Control Warrior, which has been really popular. But now there's a second type of Warrior, the Grim Pagan Warrior, which will be really interesting, I'd say.
You're forgetting about Lifecoach Mech Warrior.
Oh, yeah, the Lifecoach Mech Warrior. How could I forget about that one? Yeah.
That's a really decent deck when you go into a surprise mode. When the metagame is fresh or on the other hand is really established. You can catch someone off guard with the Mech Warrior, but it works better in an environment, an example like King Win Pro League, when you specifically test for one opponent, prepare for one opponent. And then in a tournament, when you have a group stages and then playoffs, it's better to go with the decks that are more established, like the Control Warrior or the Grim Patron, as you said.
I think, just not seeing Lifecoach play Mech Mage, Druid, and the Huntlock he's been playing all the time, it's really surprising, I'd say. But we're going to go into game number 1 now. Druid versus Paladin to start off. I really have to say that the Paladin is the deck to look out for here.
Well, both players are playing Paladin, so that's really interesting. Because I think it's not a common occurrence here at this tournament to both players bringing this the same class like Paladin.
I think the overall looking at the so it's Hunter, Paladin, and Warrior for BunnyMuffins, and Warlock, Druid, and Paladin for Lifecoach. I think the main thing is the Druid is quite weak against BunnyMuffin's lineup.
Well, it's weak to two classes, to Hunter and to Paladin. So if Lifecoach manages to get the Druid against the to be paired against the warrior, then it's a really good spot, because if you can secure that one class which is really weak against the other two classes, then you have a huge advantage.
I'd say so, definitely. But if you flip that around on BunnyMuffin, like if he has the control warrior, he's looking really weak against Lifecoach's lineup, as Lifecoach does prefer handlock.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he has the Druid and the Paladin, and the Druid and the Paladin are both counters to the conventional control warrior, while as a Warlock it's a bit of a mismatch. But I would guess that, you know, Lifecoach probably has more experience with the handlock than BunnyMuffin has with the control warrior, as Lifecoach really know for the handlock, knows, you know.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah, definitely. All the ins and outs. Now, we look at this hand to begin with. Lifecoach: Innovate, Swipe, Belcher, Big Game Hunter. The Big Game Hunter is the weak card here, but
it's really the weakest.
But having the Swipe, having the Innovate, I think it could be quite strong. Like, you could see a turn 3 Innovate Belcher into a turn 4 Swipe, you know, defeating that Master of Battle.
Yeah, that's true. Well, still the Master of Battle shouldn't be a problem until turn 5, so you can always manage to just, you know, swipe whenever you're feeling there might be a quartermaster incoming, so you just swipe it right the turn before that. Nourish, yes, that's a tech that we use really often in our team, but it goes in and out, so sometimes we skip the Nourish. It depends on the metagame, and Lifecoach just loves the card.
Then the Helium card, I suppose, and Druid there. But now, looking at this matchup, I think the main thing is that Paladin likes to be the aggressor, and the Druid, if it goes, you know, to fatigue, I suppose the Druid has a slight edge. But other than that, I mean, the Druid is looking really rough, and I guess the main point behind that is, you know, there's the Aldor, there's the True Silver, there's the Tempo card that the Paladin has, but so Druid is really looking for that, that ramp up and getting ahead early. So
yeah, the Nourish is achieving that. And the interesting fact is that when you innovate the Nourish, you still get two mana back, so you can use the hero power to utilize this. And we just saw that because he managed to destroy the Divine Shields from the mini bot, which is kind of important because those Druid has problems with creatures that have more than 2 HP.
Yeah.
Like, well, basically 3. So you can think of Minibot as a creature with 2 additional points of HP.
Yeah, for sure. I think the thing to note here is that the Druid, turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3 are the crucial turns. Because with Paladin, with Sue, with all these classes, if they can get 3 minions on board and then buff them with, like, you know, let's say power whelming or have an Aldor, you know, defeat that. So it really goes kind of far with that. If there's a turn 1, turn 3, turn 1 and turn 2 and 3 there, yeah, it really just, you get too far ahead, I suppose.
That's true. Well, now the Belcher seems to be a really great drop. Lifecoach doesn't know there are 2 Quicksilvers, two True Silver champions in BunnyMuffin's hand, but I feel like the Belcher is still the best option here. Otherwise, you will have to commit to Wrath, and basically that's it.
The thing is, yeah, these spells aren't really ideal against a small board. The Force of Nature and the Big Game Hunter are definitely late game cards you don't really want to be having now. I think I like the Belcher here, like Belcher into Wrath and Swipe on next turn should be able to clear. It's a bit awkward though, yeah.
It is awkward because you will lose the Belcher to this True Silver champion, and the Piloted Shredder will still be intact. So you have to use the Wrath on the Piloted Shredder, which is kind of awkward.
When we go back to that though, 3 weapons in BunnyMuffin's hand can also be really, really rough, I suppose, because you obviously can't play them all at once.
Very right.
And the Big Game Hunter as well, if we look at that. So there's a Big Game Hunter in both hands, you know, generally no big targets until turn 7 with a Dr. Boom, which neither of them have. So yeah, awkward all around. I'd give the favor to Lifecoach, like looking at because of the Nourish. If he can manage to draw into Ancient of War, I would give him the upper hand.
He plays Ancient of War? I wouldn't say so. He prefers to play the aggressive deck. So he kind of almost always cuts the Ancient of War.
Oh yeah, I meant the Ancient of Lore there.
Oh, Lore, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah, but Ancient of Lore would be insane. That would be like the best drop right now.
And now we have turn 4. I think, I mean, there's merit for the True Silver, the Master, and the Aldor here. I don't think I like the Aldor. I think it's at the moment between True Silver and the Master.
Well, if he goes for the Masterful Battle, it's so weak against Swipe. It's basically, I think the Masterful Battle might be the worst case, worst play to make here. So I like the Crucible Champion. It's way better to utilize this early on. You have a target HP for it. That's 5 HP. If you have a board state.
I think that was definitely the right play, but the keeper is so good here. It's unbelievable against that Shredder. I think no matter what's coming down, I think the keeper will be the start.
The problem is you want to keep the keeper for the Tyrion forging, which will come down at, well, in 4 turns.
Yeah.
And we know that there's no forger in BunnyMuffin's hand. So it's now the question, do you want to make a board which will die to Crucible Champion, because you know Druid wants to get something on board every single turn, so that's the problem now, because even if you play something, it will die.
It's about every other Paladin plays Dr. Boom now. Some of them are cutting it for like a Paladin Sky Golem or Cairn or something like that to play around, so there's no Big Game Hunter target. So you want to be keeping the Big Game Hunter for the Dr. Boom, you want to be keeping the Silence for the Tyrion, and you want to be keeping the Swipe for the Muster. So
it's really rare.
Yeah, technically, I think you have to throw the keeper out here because you also don't want to be wasting a Force of Nature unless you're ahead and killing it. But that's like the best minion to get, I suppose, among them here.
Yeah, everything else will die to Rav.
I suppose there's a few, but yeah.
For the Big Game Hunter. Wow, that's awesome.
I think it's the right way to go, though. It's desperation, as he is behind due to the lack of value here, but...
Now the Peacekeeper will be used, most likely.
I suppose, yes. So you'd kill the Keeper of the Grove, I suppose, and then use the Aldor on the Big Game Hunter with a hero power?
Yeah. I would say that's the play here.
Let me think.
It is low value for the True Sliver, but with the True Sliver, you take what you can get, I suppose, especially when you have 2.
I don't think it's low value. Basically, it's 1 card. So True Silver Champion means you just trade it for 2 cards. And I think that's okay.
Yeah, definitely what It
doesn't really matter how much damage it is, what's the nature of the card you just destroyed. It's just matter if it's a card or if it's not a card. If, in example, if you would kill a token like from a Paladin hero power, yeah, that will be really low value. But if it's just a card that was playing for hand, it's great.
For sure here. I think with him having so many charges of the weapons, he will also have to use it, you know, no matter what, every turn. So I think it's not even an option for that. Now he does go
for the
thinking about maybe a muster or something, but
yeah,
I would have thought if he's gonna muster, he would want to keep the Big Game Hunter alive, because you know the less tokens, I suppose.
Reporting for duty.
Not sure I like this. This is also very vulnerable to Swipe, which...
Yeah, I don't like this either. It's very, very slow, I would say. And you want to be as fast as possible against the Druid. If you manage to squeeze the board control against Druid, you basically win.
I think the thing to note here is, like, if he has the Swipe, you're behind. So you don't want to be behind, of course. And if you're playing the Sylvanas, you have to be behind. So if he isn't behind next turn, you can't really play the Sylvanas for value. So it's be behind to be behind, and you kind of blame from behind, I suppose, with that. I think it also, I'd say it's a good chance that he will have to use the True Silver next turn, you know, and then you're just throwing away the weapon, the 1/4. I mean, it's not crucial, but it's better than nothing. So I think getting the True Silver out first and then going for the small weapon would be more ideal here.
Well, Lifecoach doesn't play the Swipe instantly, he just goes for left for 1 to cycle, because he is in such a dire need of something in his hand. So I agree with that.
I think he was always going to swipe, no matter what, but he was, thinking, you know, maybe he could draw into something like an Ancient of Lore for next turn or something. But
and next turn he has Keeper of the Grove and Sludge Vulture, which is okay. He will most likely have to use that Keeper on the Grove for this next turn Sylvanas. That will come down. I would say that this will be the card to come down on 10-6.
I have no time for games.
There's some merit, I suppose, for Force of Nature, but overall, I think it depends on the next draw. This is not ideal, though, as the Stub Belcher is really weak to that.
Well, the Drake is unfortunate. He just used the Swipe and the Wrap.
For the value, at least, I think the Swipe was fine without it, but it's good, though. Like, imagine he would draw something like, I suppose, like an innovate or something, you know, because he wants to get the value. When he gets to draw the Drake now, I think you actually will have to go for the Drake and see what you get.
But then it's
I mean,
solo Drake is I don't know.
he's already seen one True Silver, so that's at least one thing to consider. Obviously, Lifecoach, you know, can't be really playing around the two True Silvers and keeping that Drake until turn 12 or something, I suppose. So,
well, let's see what can he draw with Azure Drake, which will be impactful this turn. It would have to be a 4-drop. So I have Falcon Shredder,
Yeah.
an example, and he didn't see one yet. Dr. Boom. Well, that's not a drop for this turn. So you have to commit to the second keeper, which
Yeah, I
is
think so.
kind of okay.
yeah, with that Azure Drake, his hand got dramatically better. In value, we'll put him behind last turn as the Force Nature doesn't get immediate value, and on this board, because you don't want to be trading with it, you want to be keeping it for the combo lethal. Now, looking at this is really awkward. I think no matter what, the True Silver is coming down. So I think maybe like True Silver, some bit of hero power, be quite strong.
What about the Peacekeeper? You have the answer to the to any big drop that will Druid use, like a Dr. Boom. You have the big game hunters. You don't need that Peacekeeper for that. And a free body is a really great threat against the Druid. He used one ramp. He used swipe. So what can you use at a free HP minion?
So the idea here is then, do you Peacekeeper the Drake, which you're gonna kill with a weapon, or I guess you could Peacekeeper the Drake, kill both of the Keeper of the Groves, as there's no silence, but then the spell power is still alive, I suppose?
I would say it's Keeper the Drake, kill the Drake of the Sylvanas, play the True Silver Champion, kill one of the Keepers.
Yeah. I suppose it's between the 1-4 with spell power or the 2-4 without spell power. But this is strong, I suppose, especially since we know he has the big game.
Yeah. Well, the bombs might still win the game. Oh, that's a good draw also, but now when you see that board, I think you have to go for Dr. Boom, because you can't be behind as a druid. Your only comeback mechanism is a Force of Nature Savage Roar, and you only have Force of Nature, so you're kind of lacking the
bulk of that combo, yeah, I suppose.
Strength, right?
So we see seeing the Dr. Boom, I suppose, and I wouldn't hate, you know, just killing the Aldor there. But the thing is now, BunnyMuffin's, he hasn't seen that many cards from Lifecoach. I mean, he doesn't have this huge 7-card hand, which you often get after the Ancient of Lore, where you can basically guarantee that he has the combo. He has been almost, you know, close to top deck with 2 or 3 cards every turn now.
I'll have heads up play with Ancient of Lore, something I wouldn't have done. Wow! Azure Drake and Swipe.
That's devastating. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really sick. Now you can plan differently. Lifecoach spent like 60 seconds to think about what he will do this turn, and he went for the Ancient of Lore, and he drew the exact 2 cards that change his strategy completely.
I have to say, regarding this play, like, I think I would have gone for the tempo play, which would be Dr. Boom here. As let's say you know, we have 2 cards in hand. You know, you want the variety, I suppose, in the next play turn. But he had, you know, cards to last him 2 or 3 turns at least. So.
Yeah, that's also really.
But it's
that's really funny. He just BunnyMuffin just drew the Kazan Mystic, and he knows it has no impact at all against Lifecoach, because Lifecoach plays. Well, okay, you can have Seekers in Paladin, but let's not kid ourselves here, right? So you can actually drop the Kazan Mystic as a body and not worry about giving information, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
This is really, yeah. He has every single card is really like.
Let me think.
So what
situational, I suppose.
I think you have to drop Zombie Chow, Kazan Mystic, Hero Power, and kill the Ancient of Lore and the Keeper of the Grove.
I think you may want to hold on to the weapon for the Keeper, as you aren't really dying to combo, you know. So that's my thinking. I think I would keep the weapon, but this is safer. I mean, let's say he has, you know, double combo with a Savage Roar, Force Nature, Innovate, Savage Roar. But
well, you saw one Innovate, so the odds of that are...
It's very low, yeah.
That's second Big Game Hunter.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that explains very well why he played it on turn 3 there. I suppose.
Well, it was still okay to play the Big Game Hunter, even if that's your solo Big Game Hunter in your deck. But now we know that he plays 2.
This is like an auto win, I would say, against Warrior, for example.
Yeah, I would say. I would say so. But now he has both Wrath and Swipe in his hand. This is insane against Paladin. This is just insane. Okay, never mind. Now it has no impact next turn because BunnyMuffin will have to play the Low-Tip instantly from his head.
I think he also will have to owl the Belcher, but I think, yeah, this is rough.
The Belcher is still a great card, even as just simple 3/5. It trades for the Kazan Mystic and something else.
I think he will be forced to probably trade into the Azure Drake.
What about the quality here?
It's not bad, but...
So you silence first, then play a quality, and you have still the Low-Tip.
The thing is that the slime will be really painful then, you know, that comes from the Slug Belcher there.
No, you can silence first.
You can silence first, I suppose, but it's just a lot of commitment, I suppose, in that case.
So he goes for the quality without the owl. So we'll see. Oh, what? That's
Yeah, I mean, consider you owl the Slug Belcher there. You trade with the Kazan into the Azure Drake. Then you have 3 minions on board against 1 Belcher, you know. Actually, you have 4 minions on board against 1 Belcher, you know. So...
I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that at all. Druid is at healthy 30 points of HP. He has the board advantage. He has the... Well, the board advantage will just shift. But he has the card advantage too. And he has the retroactive cards, but those are instantly affecting the board, like Swipe and Wrath.
But we see a huge draw here, the Tyrion. This is so...
But you can't play it now.
Yeah,
if you play it now,
it's
you
the
can't,
worst turn, yeah.
You can't play the Big Game Hunter.
I think the thing to consider about last turn is, you know, Equality is a combat card, you know, while Owl is not as much of a combat card. Owl is kind of the card where if you're ahead on the board, you can stay ahead on the board by, you know, owling the big taunt, or you can owl the Sylvanas or something. So I think the Owl was much more expendable when you're behind, I suppose. But
now, if that bomb would have dealt more damage than 1, it would change the whole strategy, because what is BunnyMuffin thinking? Does he have the combo? He has so many cards in hand, he most likely has the combo. So I have to kill every single creature, and if the bomb would deal 3 points to the face instead of 1, that would be lethal with the combo.
It would. I think maybe one thing he's considering, you know, because when you're behind, you would need to take more risks because you're behind, because you're not going to win if you just play safe when you're behind. So maybe he was thinking that, you know, he may need to take more risks. But I think, in hindsight, I would have liked Tyrion better there. I don't know.
If Lifecoach would have Savage Roar here, he would just go face with everything and then finish the game off with the Swipe.
Yeah, he's not been repping the Savage Roar at all. He's been kind of, you know, just controlling the board and being the
he still has a great turn. Ancient of Law into whatever, and then you innovate Swipe the Low-Tip, and trade the bomb for the Big Game Hunter. I think that's great.
Yeah, I really like that.
It's kind of unfortunate. He did draw 2 Force of Nature, and he's still lacking the Big Game Hunter. Savagers, sorry, what I'm talking about. And
Fortune of Nature, yeah.
Now Tyrion might be a problem, because it's a huge body. We know that 2 keepers were played, so there's no other answer to the unless Black Knight.
I think he will actually have to go for you know,
Wrath.
Yeah, maybe it's Wrath, Force of Nature down, and just go face.
Yeah, that's a good play. That's a good play.
So I would have probably drawn first, with the
to
Wrath,
see what's going on, right?
And then probably, I guess, Wild Growth here.
What about 2 Piloted Shredders here?
It's playable, especially since you've seen the quality already, so you're not afraid of the quality. But I think
you can play 2 Shredders per turn.
You could, yeah.
Right? You saw 1 equality. Most of the paladins are playing now 1 equality. You didn't see any consecrations yet. So what you can assume is that even if a consecration comes down, it kills one of the piloted shredders, because there's 1 recruit that can trade for the shredder. But still, 2 creatures are, you know, on the board, and you have no chance of activating your weapon because there's no creature with 6 attack.
I think a thing to consider here is that we have 2 forces and you have no Savage Roar, so the Force Nature is extremely expendable here. And another thing, if you are paladin with a 5 damage weapon and you only have 10 health, you can't really use the weapon effectively, you know.
I still like this more than the force of nature.
I mean, in either case, you know, like BunnyMuffin will need to draw, you know, really, really strong cards back to back here to have a chance anyway. And if there's a Savage Sword drawn, it's just game over, you know, no matter what happens after that. So, Aldor not too bad. I think, you know, you could go Hero Power, you could go for the Quartermaster, and you could go for the Aldor.
Peacekeeper is really great. So
Yeah.
I think you just go Peacekeeper, Hero Power, Quartermaster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that'd be strong.
Well, Owl is great too because you can kill the one piloted shredder without any death rattles.
It's kind of hard, I guess, now to assume for BunnyMuffins, you know, but Lifecoach hasn't been repping a Savage Sword at all, so BunnyMuffins may actually just want to go face.
You think
Possibly.
so?
I think what I would do here, I would start with the Hero Power. I would then go for the Quartermaster and trade into the Paladin Shredder. See what I get out of that with the token there.
Yep.
And if it's something that's, you know, like a Flame Tongue Totem, you could trade into it. But if not, I just go face, honestly. But always do the RNG first now here.
Okay, so he goes safe, I would say.
This is, I don't know. I would even mention to say this is just weaker, because you could get a 3/3 from the Hero Power. It's between Owl or 3/3.
Oh,
know.
there's a Savage Roar. And yeah, you're right.
This is actually just lethal here.
Yeah, that's
on board.
lethal. Because you have
Exact,
lethal.
yeah.
Would it change? Would it change if he would go for another type of play?
He would have lost. He would have lost either way, but I think you'd have a better chance if he'd gone for the Hero Power instead of the Owl to come back. You know, if there's no Savage Roar, I suppose. But Lifecoach taking game 1 here,
And he was he was not favored in this matchup at all. So this is a really important win for Lifecoach, and now he knows his druid is secured, so he doesn't have a good matchup against the warrior because, well, no.
the
Let's
Hunter
go
and the
back.
Paladin
Yeah.
don't have a good matchup against the Druid, I suppose. But the Druid is kind of a class that's kind of well-rounded. It has several weaknesses, you know, but with how it's structured, with the Innovate and the Wild Growths and the Ramp, if you draw all your Ramp, you can just get way ahead, you know, even in an unfavored matchup. So the matchups don't go as completely the opposite way as something like a Control Warrior versus Freeze Mage, you know.
Yeah,
which is like an
true.
80-20, but you know the Druid matchups maybe 65-35, you know, so you always have the chance,
Yeah.
And I mean with Lifecoach having Innovate into the Nervous, it's just a crazy swing there for that.
That's true. He was like 2 Wild Growths ahead. That's insane. And now Lifecoach has Paladin and Warlock, so I would say BunnyMuffin will go with the Hunter. It's a bit safe bet because if it's Handlock, your Hunter will do great. If it's Zoo, your Hunter will do great. Unless it's a mid-range Hunter. And Hunter against Paladin is also great.
I think the thing to consider is that Lifecoach is an excellent Handlock player if he's playing Handlock here, and he has a tendency to draw a lot of heal bots. And I know this from experience. When I face him, he tends to get both his heal bots against my burn classes. So, but I think now BunnyMuffin's best chance would be to 3-0 the Paladin. The Hunter should be really strong against the Paladin. Then you have the Mirror Match, and then you have the Warrior. Which, if it's a Grimpation Warrior, he's heavily favored there. So
yeah, that's true. Like the OTK Warrior basically auto wins against Warlocks. The of course contra Warlocks like Handlock or like late game Demon Locks.
Yeah,
something like that. So we'll have to see what will be the next deck from BunnyMuffin. But I would say for Lifecoach it will be no difference at all. You can just roll the dice, pick one of the decks. That makes no difference at all.
Yeah, I think BunnyMuffin should go for the most favored matchup against the Warlock, because the Warlock would be the threat now. The Paladin is the deck that Lifecoach really desperately wants to get a win with. So if he can get a medium matchup, and I think this will be the most crucial one. Will be the Paladin versus Paladin that comes up here.
Paladin versus Paladin. That's one of the matchups then you can't really predict unless someone has 2 consecrations and then quality. It's really hard to make a comeback as a Paladin when the board is really big, unless you got that combo with equality.
It's one of the few matchups where Zombie Chow is like dramatically important, and getting that early stuff is more important than getting the late stuff, I suppose. You know,
Yeah, that's
compared to the. I guess when you're playing against the or playing with the shaman, you wouldn't really want the Zombie Chow there against stuff like the Druid, etc. So I think it'll just come down to who can stabilize first and get the knife juggler rolling or get
the knife juggler. I
weapons,
forgot about that card. If you get the knife juggler with muscle for battle, this can be game breaking when
Absolutely
it comes to
crucial
board
here.
position. Yeah.
But I think consider if he's playing Hunter, if he's playing the mid-range Hunter, he's in trouble here, I'd say. So
But who plays mid-range Hunter, right?
Nyman, I suppose, but not anymore.
Oh, shots fired. Well, maybe the viewers don't know, but Nyman got banned yesterday, so hot news.
Latest scoop here, I suppose. But now, I think I'm really leaning for Lifecoach now after this one. Even if Bunny has, a strong Paladin against Paladin,
What if Lifecoach is playing Zoo? Or maybe
that would be really interesting,
mid-range Warlock.
That would actually, then it would be favored Bunny, I say, even though Lifecoach is 1-0 because, I mean, the Grimpation Warrior is really, really strong against the Sue. The Hunter is really strong against the Sue. I'd say I actually prefer Sue. Which one would you prefer? You're playing face Hunter. Would you prefer facing Sue or Handlock?
I would say I would prefer facing Zoo.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with
Explosive
that.
Trap has more impact on the board, and Unleash the Hounds has more value. You don't have to wait until your opponent drops the Giants, because that's the usual
with honor.
state of the board when you can actually play the Unleash the Hounds. Okay, but we know that that's not the case. It's a Handlock, double Ancient Watcher, and it's against Paladin. So this is a matchup I would say Warlock is favored, especially with the Hellfire already in hand.
Absolutely, yeah, the Ancient Watcher is also going to be crucial, I think. I would think that Lifecoach would definitely throw with the Belcher and the second Ancient Watcher, but I could see him keeping one Watcher here. BunnyMuffin's, I would guess that he would know Lifecoach's playstyle and that he tends to go Handlock if he'd done his research here, but I think he probably does. But
yeah,
we have to consider that BunnyMuffin is from North America and Lifecoach is EU, so they may not have as much of.
It doesn't require so much research. It's basically Lifecoach trademark.
Yeah,
he can wear a robe and be a warlock.
Robe coat, I suppose. Now, looking at this, Knife Juggler into Coghammer is amazing, and keeping the Peacekeeper is good as well.
He didn't keep any of the Ancient Watchers.
He didn't? Okay, it's interesting. Maybe he wants the Owl with it, I suppose. If he'd kept the Owl with Ancient Watcher and Owl, that would have been strong now. We saw BunnyMuffin throw away the Coghammer. An amazing card against Sue, but bad against Handlock. So I think BunnyMuffin is onto this. A really strong hand, actually, but the Harrison is not something you want early on.
Double Big Game Hunters in
What's going on here?
Handlock too. What's going on? I don't know. Everyone is almost everyone is playing aggro decks, and Lifecoach brings double Big Game Hunters in both Druid and Warlock.
I suppose he's maybe thinking, okay, if I face a Warrior,
he just wants to kill one deck with his whole lineup. Right?
So he just trades in one card and gets a free win, with Druid there. Now, what do you go for here? Do you go for the Knife Juggler or the Shielded Minibot here?
I would say it's the Knife Juggler this turn, because you can't really... If you want to deal some damage, it's from the start of the game. Then you have to stop at some point.
You have to play this like Peter Gonzalez, I suppose, really be in a rush against Handlock. The thing is, if he has a Dark Bomb, he could possibly go for it, but he also wants to life tap.
Yeah.
So I like this Knife Juggler here.
Now you can just play double minions.
I think you have to do that, the Shielded Minibot and the Zombie Chow.
You also get Hunter Heal Power for free.
The only scenarios, I guess, where this is, dramatically favored for the Handlock, I suppose. So the scenario that you're going to lose to Paladin is when he gets like 3 minions or 4 minions and you can't really deal with them with an AoE, and then there comes silence and he throws an equality in them, then you're just dead all of a sudden.
Yeah, so a pure temple play. Aggressive Paladin play. That's it.
For sure. And his hand is actually like decent, I'd say, Lifecoach,
Twilight Drake will be met with Peacekeeper, I would say.
There's no taunts though, so... And
equality,
wow, this hand is sick from BunnyMuffin.
This might
sick.
be turned around now.
Yeah, I mean, let's say he goes for the Aldor though.
If he goes for the Aldor, then it's really bad for him. Lifecoach will pop the Divine Shield, play the Hellfire. If he goes for the Pallet Shredder, then Lifecoach will go for the same play, but he will pop the Pallet Shredder with his Twilight Drake, which will still have 4 attack, and still play the Hellfire, which will keep his Twilight Drake alive, but the Minibot will be dead. Will be also alive.
I think the Summit, equality is generally a card you'd want for later. And I mean, he hasn't been wrapping a Hellfire, I suppose, Lifecoach, by coining out the Drake. That would be more likely a second Drake incoming. So maybe he could think about equalitying and throwing the zombie chow in. I think like knowing that there's a Hellfire, that would be the best play if you know it's a Hellfire, but he obviously has no way of knowing that.
Yeah. Well, when he plays one of the creatures, he can still hit the Twilight Drake with the Juggler, and that will change the board dramatically.
I think without knowing the hand, Aldor and trading in is probably best. This is strong as well. Yeah.
Will be at 18 points of life.
This
And there's the anti-kill bot, which was crucial, I think, when you have no taunts.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I think like not knowing the hand, it would be best to go for the Aldor and trade in, you know, because you aren't really in a position where you can go for the huge quality play yet. You need like a weapon going, etc. But there's some better to going Hearthstone, I suppose. It's a great late game card, but
Against Jaraxxus?
yeah.
I don't think you can pull that off.
Yeah, it's very unlikely, especially because you need to be in a hurry while you're behind now. But
Yeah, who will play Jaraxxus at turn 9 against a Paladin? You need that, I think. You can just drop every other creature and just go face.
It's really a desperation when you actually come to that. There would be some sort of, you know, counter to Tyrion or something that you need to go for that.
Maybe.
But a lot of them do play Hearthstone. I think Hearthstone is the way to go here. But now, if we look at what possibilities Lifecoach has, I think silencing his own Drake might actually be the best play. As
That's
strange
funny.
as that is.
That's actually funny.
Now
It will be 4-1,
Yeah.
but they will trade for the Harrison Jones. So that's
A rare occurrence, I'd say. Yeah.
you're very right. Maybe the less experienced viewers will not know, but the effect of the Peacekeeper is silenceable. So if you use the Owl on your minion that was following the rules of the Peacekeeper, then it goes back to its initial attack state.
It actually puts him to 1 health now, but there is a Mountain Giant, so there's a possibility, I suppose, of playing that Mountain Giant out. He could tap and go for the Owl and clear. He isn't really in danger of dying here, I suppose, so I think maybe Mountain Giant is better, but it also keeps him safe against Tyrion and Sylvana, so I think, in general, I think Mountain Giant would be the way to go.
He probably will go for that. He has the anti-kill bot, he has the Molten Giant, so he doesn't really care about the damage for now. And what is he thinking about is, what are the chances of my opponent having Big Game Hunter?
Yeah.
That's the only reason why wouldn't you play the Molten Giant here? And you have the Shadow Flame, but you have no target to Shadow Flame, so that's the problem. When there's a Big Game Hunter going down right now, the board state will be kinda threatening to Lifecoach.
For sure here. There is merit actually to go in Coghammer. You can kill the 1/2 and you can do a lot of damage to the mountain and just even go face. I think face may be a bit too, you know, ambitious.
Too straightforward. He will be at 13, so you can play Molten Giant, even 2 if you want. But I don't think Lifecoach will commit so much to the board when he knows there might be an equality in the hand.
There should be at least one in most Paladin decks, I suppose. But now, what Lifecoach really wants to have happen is, you know, it plays 1 minion out, trades for 1 minion, and you keep going until like turn 9 where you just win, you know.
For BunnyMuffin, it's really unfortunate that his mana efficiency dropped below average after turn 4.
Yeah,
he used Peacekeeper on turn 4, so he was slacking 1 point of mana. On turn 5, he used Harrison, so that was okay. But it's undercurve when it comes to stats, right?
Absolutely.
And then turn 6, you can't play Pallet Shredder and Cockhammer at the same time.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate how this is panning out. And we talked about Lifecoach. The way he's gonna win this is just, you know, trade 1 minion at a time into things like, you know, now he could go Belcher, he could go Sylvanas or something, but to stabilize. But while BunnyMuffin, his way would be like he did in the first few turns, get 4 minions going, you know, and keep that board and clear and you know, eventually burst down. But
What do you think about playing Belcher, killing the 1/1 with your Drake, and then killing the Harrison Jones? Because you have a taunt which basically declines whatever will the Parcher do, and you're not in fear of equality because your giant is at 3 points of life, and equality doesn't really matter at that point.
It's the safest play here. There is also merit, I suppose, to
go in face.
I suppose, trading into the Sweater with the Mountain Giant, silencing the Drake, killing the Harvison, and then going for a Molten Giant with that.
That's also interesting. You can also pop the Shredder and Shadow Flame Giant.
That's actually a good point.
But I don't think that's usable.
You could actually have...
I have no time.
Yeah, you could have... Okay. I think I got the play here. You go for the... you pop the Shredder with the Giant, then you silence the Twilight Drake and Shadow Flame the Twilight Drake for 6 mana.
Okay.
I think that's actually... Yeah, I think that would have been it.
That's also okay, but he might use that next turn. We'll have to see.
I think this is, yeah...
The Sylvanas was really a good drop, because it will take the drop from the Pallet Shredder, I mean the Death Rattle effect, because the Sylvanas was played after the Pallet Shredder, and the order of Death Rattles is being cast the way the cards were played on board. So first the Pallet Shredder, then the Sylvanas. So that's really important information for the viewers, I think. And he can't play Cockhammer too, because if you put Divine Shield on your minion, then it's basically untouched after the Sylvanas will die, and you give him, full value.
It denies every play except like bursting face with a weapon,
Yeah.
And that's what Lifecoach wants, because Lifecoach has both a taunt and he has a heal, which probably would become the heal first, But I think if I was BunnyMuffin, I would literally go Cockhammer and just face.
Oh, he goes for the Dr. Boom, and Lifecoach has 2 big game hunters.
If you're trading now, there's no comeback mechanic to that. You're just gonna lose,
Yeah, that's true. I would like, as you said, the Cockhammer phase was the best option here.
It's desperate, but you gotta take chances, of him having absolutely nothing, which is what BunnyMuffin had to do there. Now 3 to face, that's something.
Wow! But now the Molten Giant is free.
He is, yeah. But there's no taunt up for it, so...
Well, you have a Belcher in hand.
Yeah.
Who cares?
But
You
I
have
mean, he
anti-Q-Bolt.
probably want to Shadow Flame now, I suppose.
Well, you want to play the big game hunter this turn. So you have to count the damage that the Paladin can do. He can play the True Silver Champion and then Consecration. That's 6 points of damage. If the bomb will not attack face and it will go into a minion and deal 4 damage to the face, then you win.
There's a lot of, there's a possibility of running the Sylvanas into the Hunter Creepers, going for a Mortal Coil to draw and then blowing it up. Shadow Flame, yeah?
What about just killing the Hunter Creeper, Shadow Flame, Molten Giant?
You could, but you probably want to draw the Mortal Coil, so you could possibly get something like a Taunt, Sun Fury, etc. Because then you could taunt both of the Dr. Boom and the...
We'll have to see.
I think I'm not sure about that.
That was... Oh, wow!
This is a mistake, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too.
You died to True Silver Consecrate.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's the maximum burst that can Paladin do, and it was the exact scenario that can happen now.
Yeah, like, let's consider if he'd gone for Sylvanas, Mortal Coil one of the 1/1s, go for and then blow it up. I mean, you have more health, I suppose, and you have...
Yeah, Lifecoach is definitely twitching after that turn. He wasn't fully happy with the outcome of that.
Absolutely here. And
I
now
think he kind of lacked the time to, count the opportunities more, to see what are the outcomes, what are the odds of happening. So he kind of roped himself.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Now he knows that's the only scenario can happen when he actually will lose. But after 30 seconds of nothing being...
There were like 4 or 5 viable options there to go, and all of them had its merits. But I think, like, if he's gonna go for this route, he could have just silenced the bomb just to be safe, because you're not gonna run into trouble with value with Tyrion at this point. But I think I would have gone like Coghammer best here, just Coghammer face. You want to be going face, you don't want to be trading here.
I don't like this.
Yeah, like there's no way they're just gonna be going into the value game here. Also, you can go for the must of battle. No, wait, I'm off that.
Well, this sucks, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, there was some merit, I suppose, if you go Coghammer, and then you can go for a quality Consecrate later if you get it. That'd be one of the few scenarios I would see.
Now it's the question, does Lifecoach think that there's a Quartermaster? You can't risk that, right? You can't
You
risk.
can't know, yeah.
That's the only scenario now that you can lose to, because you know there's no True Silver Champion and there's no Consecration, because that will be used with the equality, right? And now you see the only thing that can stop you, which is Quartermaster with 5 minions.
I know that Lifecoach tends to, I suppose, go 2 Hellfire, 1 Shadow Flame, right?
I think so. That's the most common setup.
It seems like he's gonna Shadow Flame at least now.
Yeah, good choice here. But that's the first time I actually see Shadow Flaming a 1/1 creature.
That's quite funny, yeah. Very, very rare occurrence here. I think you go for the Zombie Chow as well, but now...
I don't think so. I don't think so. You go for the zombie. Oh wait.
Maybe he's still thinking just to trade into a 1/1. Or
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
for very low value, but this is, yeah... I mean, he could have had him at, you know, lower health than this. But obviously then he wouldn't have forced the Shadow Flame. This is turning out okay. I mean, there's not much merit to anything except maybe, you know... There's no good play here, unfortunately. Like, Hero Powered Quartermaster maybe? Like,
And he's still so much off curve. The Cockhammer could have been played 4 turns ago, and
Yeah.
he didn't have the opportunity to use the mana. So that's really unfortunate. And now, you know that your opponent is only at 7 HP, and you have to go for it. You have to ignore the board. You have to go for it and win this game. So you count on, an example, a Consecration draw. And I think he will be trading, which is a mistake, I think.
at this point, I suppose there's no card you could draw that you would like get lethal with immediately.
But you have to push it. You have 3 attacks with the Cockhammer. If you draw the Consecrations,
I mean,
you can win.
I think before, when he has 7 or 8 cards, you definitely have no option of it, you know. But now he has to figure, okay, the cards that he has left are cards that he has kept for 9 turns, you know. So those would be, yeah, really iffy, I suppose, not high value cards. So he's thinking maybe if I draw, you know, if I draw like Sylvanas or if I draw Tyrion, I could do okay.
Well, maybe. We know that's not gonna happen.
Probably not, I suppose, but there's some, I mean...
Well, you have the second owl for
Yeah,
the Tyrion.
it's
so
true, yeah.
it's only 6/6 minion. It doesn't really matter. It does nothing.
I mean, after the Big Game Hunter is gone here, a 6/6 would actually do a decent amount, but not enough, I suppose, in this case.
Well, Paladin is at 12 points. So you can't play just Tyrion because you have to if you draw this, but that will be met with the silence and you will get like insane amount of damage. Well, this is a great draw. This is one of the best. I think that's the best draw he could have got.
I think so, yeah. Honestly, I think, yeah, with no AoE, if we see 2 dead draws in a row from Lifecoach, this game is wide open again.
What do you think of?
You just don't attack, you can't attack, there's no way.
You have no option to attack. You will be 9 points. There's no way you can attack.
You died to a Dark Bomb, you know, and it's likely that he would have one at this point, or, yeah, anything. Even Jiraxir would kill you at that point, you know.
It's still not bad for Lifecoach. He has 2 anti-kill bots and a taunt.
But these are not value cards, and at this point it's turning into a value game, I suppose.
So what about second Belcher and 1 anti-kill bot and you go face with your whole army?
That dies to a second Quartermaster, which is a bit my question. I think at this point, like, he's so all in, he just has to keep on trading.
No, I think you go face with everything. You have 9 points of damage. Yeah, you go face. You have to count that if the zombie chows dies, a consecration. You're so far
I suppose,
away.
yeah, maybe since you have the taunt, you can just put it on the pressure here. But this is actually, okay, so you can kill both the Slap Belchers.
Yeah, but it's still, the owl will be left, the zombie chow will be left. So if
It's lethal, actually, yeah.
Lifecoach is lethal.
No, wait, yeah, it's exactly.
Yes,
lethal,
right,
yeah.
because you
Yeah.
trade 2 creatures for 1 Belcher, then it's 1 for the slime, 2 for the Belcher, and you have no option to kill the second slime. So it's 2, 5, 7, 8 points of damage left.
Yeah. It's actually, yeah, he could have technically Aldored the heal bot, and then it would only be 5, but still, he can't kill the zombie Chow needs to kill in that case. So Lifecoach going up 2-0 here.
2-0 with the Warlock and Druid, so he has Paladin left, and he will be facing Hunter, Paladin, and Warrior.
So that game really came down to that big hellfire there after the Twilight Wake. But
and I think that sorry for interrupting you,
no
but
worries.
I think if BunnyMuffin would have just played the Paladin Shredder on that turn instead of Peacekeeper, it would have been much more like mana efficient and also would be more board impactful than the Peacekeeper.
It is, yeah. It's really hard, I guess, to know when you're in the seat. You know, you have such little information. So I guess he was playing around, you know, this kind of a more well-rounded than, you know, countering a specific line of play. But as we talked about, the Paladin is the deck that, you know, BunnyMuffin is going to have to beat 3-0. So even though he does lose this, it's not as impactful as if he would have lost for the Paladin. If Lifecoach only had the Warlock left, I think it would basically be over the series already. But since he has the Paladin left, I think there's some merit that BunnyMuffin could take it back.
Well, Warlock can still do really okay against Warrior if that's the standard control Warrior, and he has 2 big game hunters, right?
Yeah.
He had 2 big game hunters in the Warlock. If that would be the Grim Patron, yeah,
Absolutely. So we're banking him having a Grim Patron Warrior, I suppose. But now, I haven't seen Lifecoach actually lose after being up 2-0. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so.
That would be a first, yeah.
I'm browsing in my memory, but I don't think so. I don't think I saw that kind of match when he's being swept in reverse.
So we have the Hunter, the Paladin, and the Warrior left. Now, we technically haven't seen the Hunter or the Paladin.
Yeah, well, he goes for the mirror match first.
Yeah.
This isn't King in Pro League when you want the tiebreakers to be as high as possible. So I think you want to go for the least possible win, because if you won't win, it doesn't really matter because you lose the game anyway, and you will want you won't be exhausting yourself with more matches.
Definitely. If you go up 2-2 and you lose the 5th game, you're definitely in a worse state than just losing 3-0. You know, like a 3-0, it's okay, it's fine. The Lifecoach, you know, is insanely good.
I'm fine with that. Focus on the next match.
But if you you get your hopes are really high if you get into game 5 and lose then. And also another thing to see is his opponent will definitely be watching. You know, both.
That's a good point. That's a very good point to bring when your opponent will not see the Hunter and the Warrior at all.
So you can keep them hidden, but a huge hand with BunnyMuffin. I am not seeing BunnyMuffin losing with that hand. Wow. Zombie Chow into Healbot. He has the Harrison for the late game.
But look at this. Mind control deck.
It's a strong card, but I feel BunnyMuffin should just be able to overwhelm him. And if he keeps on tapping and tapping and tapping with the adding on dudes, the mind control deck could become huge. But I think the Zombie Chow is the key card here because he can kill off the hero power again and again. And
I would say it's Zombie Chow and the Harrison Jones, because if Lifecoach will play the Master of Battle, then the Harrison Jones is just insane.
Yeah. I mean, the Consecrate is like Consecrated with the Zombie Chow and Hilpo doesn't go very well together. You either want, you know, no Zombie Chow and then you want to even out on turn 3 with a coin Consecrate, or you want to get ahead and get something like a weapon on turn 4, you know, like a 2 silver killing something, you know, to stay ahead. But you definitely don't want to exhaust you. But it seems like Lifecoach is the slower Paladin, which is the weaker one in this case. Usually it's the other way around. I mean, let's say you go Handlock versus Handlock.
Yeah.
The greedier Handlock is the stronger one, but in this case it's the other way around.
Yeah, because you play with tempo much more than the Handlock matchup. And we just got information that Crowbar actually eliminates Zozus.
That's a big upset, yeah.
They played yesterday and Zozus won the match. Because, you know, the first match was between those 2 guys, and the loser of that match, which was Crowbar, was given the bye because Frictious wasn't attending the group, right? So he went up to 1-1, and they had the rematch of yesterday, and now he won.
That's crazy, especially considering that he had that Tempo Mage that's excellent against Warrior. He also had that Shaman, which dominates the Warrior, so really impressive for Crowbar. Zozus got 2nd place last time, but looking at the game, he's going for the Knife Terror, which is a greedier option, I suppose, as it does get shut down by Coghammer, but there's just nothing in Lifecoach's hand.
It doesn't look good for Lifecoach here.
If he draws something like, you know, BunnyMuffin draws something like a Coghammer or a True Silver, that's just borderline game over at that point. But he doesn't have a weapon, he has the Consecrate instead, so this is...
So what about just dropping the MC deck here? I think that you have to do it.
I think I would rather drop the big game hunter, because if he continues to draw poorly, Lifecoach, then he has some option later to get really lucky and steal something big. But
The problem with the big game hunter is just really weak to a masterful battle.
yeah, it
right?
is. Yeah.
And if you play mind control deck, then maybe you will still trade for a minion, like full value minion, like juggler or zombie joe.
His hero power instead of going for the big game hunter, and maybe that's a sign of him not having the second big game hunter like in the other two decks.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, yeah, this is just
I wonder.
really,
How
really
can you
strong.
stabilize with? I don't. You have to draw the consecration.
I think there's no way you coin here. I'm not sure why he's moshing on the coin.
Reporting for duty.
Maybe he's just bluffing.
I'm not sure why. Like, I think since he got the, let's say you get something like an equality.
Crucible. That's a great top deck.
Excellent top deck here. But let's say you get something like an equality BunnyMuffin, then your hand becomes a bit weaker. But I feel like since he has the Harrison, he has the Dr. Boom, he can play more aggressive because he knows he's going to draw more.
Yeah.
So I would have liked the shield bot over the hero power there. In that case.
That's true. That's true. Then next turn you can coin low tap or Harrison Jones. It depends on what the Lifecoach will do. But we know the Lifecoach will play True Silver Champion, kill the Knife Juggler, and then we'll see coin Harrison Jones on turn 4. Sorry.
I think there's no way he's not playing True Silver. It's just too strong here. But there is the counter, the infamous coin Harrison, sending him back to the museum. Yeah.
What about
Where it belongs.
playing low tap this turn?
I think there's no way he can donk over Harrison. It's just...
I know you can't keep the Harrison Jones for Tyrion. It doesn't make sense. You can't be greedy, especially when Paladins are playing like 2, 3, 4 weapons.
Yeah.
Or even 5 with Cockhammer.
I mean, there's some merit because he doesn't, in this case, like let's say he didn't have the coins, he only had 3 cards to start with, and he got something like, the iffy cards like the equality, etc. Then it would be more important to draw something like, get 3 draws out of the Muster for Battle, the Lightbringer there, or get 3 draws out of the Tyrion Forging. But since he has all this value and all these cards in his hand, he doesn't need to draw as much as he needs the tempo. And he gets a lot of tempo when he's in the Harrison now. So I think considering his hand, this is a very nice move. But I definitely agree. Like if he had a weaker and smaller hand, it would be stronger to go for something like Harrisoning a Cockhammer or Light's Justice or yeah.
Light's Justice. Wow. Okay, so now Lifecoach has a really weak turn. You have to go Healbot, I would say.
I think so. Yeah.
The Knife Juggler hero power is
It's really weak here.
it's really weak. Lifecoach's hand is awkward, really awkward, and BunnyMuffin will be just pushing through the board like crazy. So Cockhammer now doesn't make sense.
This Cockhammer and Shielded Minibow might be okay. It's not ideal though, but you would want to trade the token first
the token
in.
first, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have a 50-50 to get the Divine Shield on the Harrison Jones, which is insane then. You have a reverse Sunwalker.
That's true actually. Yeah. Like what do you call it? The using the version switch, the mech spare part there.
Oh
or
yeah, the reversing switch.
Yeah. Now, I think I like the Cockhammer a bit later on, which you will be able to, I guess, trade immediately. Like, let's say Lifecoach plays a low tap, and you could go for that right away. But so I like the low tap here better. And
But
you want that
now-
immediate trade.
Now, this mind control might...
It's gonna be insane. This is gonna be the game. I'd say if he gets a bad mind control tech, if he gets the 1/1 or something, it's just.
But if he gets the 5/5 or 5/4, it's really insane. Imagine, you play a 3-mana creature, which is 3/3, and it spawns a 5/5.
Yeah.
How much mana is it worth?
It's godlike. Yeah. Absolutely godlike. But now.
And...
Ooh.
Oh, wow. That's unfortunate.
Not good at all. And hits
That's
the worst
unfortunate.
minion as well with hitting the low tap there.
Yeah. That's very unfortunate.
Now, think about how good the Consecrate is going to be. My god. Now, Lifecoach really didn't need value. He needed, he needs tempo over everything. So, I mean, there's no other play here except killing the token. I don't see anything else being a possibility, and the Consecrate will just be overpowering in that case.
That was a RNG that was game deciding.
I think so, yeah. I mean, he can't really complain, I guess, you know, like, he gets 1 minion killed and he gets one, like, this is still, you know...
Yeah, it's still a good position, but...
I mean, the Banshee deck gets value, but him, it's not the comeback he needed, and this was the comeback card, definitely.
He was so behind the board that not stealing a 5 attack minion is just game, I think.
Now, here it feels like Consecrated an auto play here.
I think so.
This is, yeah, looking rough. I mean, I think his only saving grace, I suppose, here is that, you know, he doesn't have the Big Game Hunter for the Dr. Boom that's probably incoming here. But I think the only scenario now that Lifecoach possibly has of coming back is if BunnyMuffin gets too greedy and just keeps on going face. I think he's go face now, but next turn, you know, there's some merit, I suppose, if he's seen Lifecoach play. He always tends to go for those greedy paladins.
Yeah, what is also important that Lifecoach didn't get the 5 points of heal from the zombie Joe.
He did, yeah, that's absolutely right, yeah. Now, what can he do here?
Nothing.
He can stay alive, but barely so. He'll need to drop the equality for nothing.
Equality and Harrison Jones?
But Harrison Jones, yeah.
Or...
I mean, Lifecoach doesn't need to draw anyway, so Harrison Jones will just be for value. I think maybe even, yeah, Big Game Hunter, he needs a Big Game Hunter, but he's gonna get it for a 5-1. I suppose.
Doesn't really matter because BunnyMuffin has the lethal anyway. Yeah. A rough match for Lifecoach. His draws were below average, I would say.
I think BunnyMuffin's deck was just stronger in this case. You know, the standard paladin is just strong against in the mirror against the greedy shaman. So actually, with such a greedy paladin, not shaman paladin, I think with such a greedy paladin, he might run into trouble against. I mean, we have the hunter left, and then we have, you know, the warrior. And even if it's, you know, a greedy paladin, Grim Patron warrior will still win, I'd say.
I don't really think that BunnyMuffin will play with Grim Patron.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, there's no chance. This will wreck warrior, a normal control warrior, absolutely. There won't be a question. I mean, maybe if there's some crazy Alex Straza into Grommash, but it's unlikely, I'd say.
That's the only scenario that the warrior can win, I think.
If he goes to fatigue anyhow, because, you know, you have the tempo, you have the Tyrion for value, you have the Harrison, I suppose, you know, like.
And maybe 2 big hunters.
Whereas, you know, warrior has a lot of cards that are kind of, you know, built around keeping you alive, like the shield blocks, etc., that aren't a lot of value. I suppose you can just cycle with them, but you also have the Harrison.
So Bunny secures the paladin.
Going up 2-1 for Lifecoach. He only needs to win the paladin once. I wonder now, if he's going for the hunter, that would probably... I would think he'd be playing the Grim Patron warrior if he's going for the hunter. If he's not going for the hunter, I would go for the warrior now and, you know...
Get it done.
Yeah, exactly. Don't show an extra attack if you don't need to, because the hunter could be a control hunter, it could be a, you know, mid-range hunter even, as unlikely as the control hunter is. But we did see that last tournament, I suppose, with Fake playing really well with his control hunter. He didn't get the best draws and had some tough calls there, so it didn't really work out for him, I suppose, in that case. But a really cool deck to see from him there. Yeah. Control
hunter. Yeah, I didn't see that from like 1 year or even more.
Gazrilla, it's Gazrilla and the Wild Paramunch. But looking at this now, I think this is the challenge he needs. The Paladin's deck he needs to kill. Well, the hunter should be favored almost no matter what hunter it is, I suppose.
I think it's still the same case for Bunny. If you want to squeeze the win, you have to and be more like
efficient, I suppose, yeah.
And fit for the next match. I will go for the less favorable matchup.
Yeah.
So it really depends now on the builds. We don't know the builds of bunnies. So if it's a face hunter, you go first with the warrior. If it's a warrior, if it's Grim Patron, then you go first with the hunter. If it's a mid-range hunter, so it's like many ifs. Yeah. And we'll have to see how it pans out. But for Lifecoach, it doesn't really matter. For Lifecoach, it doesn't really matter. He has only one deck. He has to win once in maybe 2 upcoming matches. So it doesn't really matter for him.
But I think if he picks the hunter, we could go to the M5 easily. But so now coming up is going to be game number 4, but we're going to go to a short break before that.
Thank you. Why there's a break?
Fire will burn and never die. Looking through the eyes of a brand new life. And so just find me, just find me. Sparks will fly if we scream no. This is not how we're gonna go. We are the ones who will never let go. Just watch us run to where no one knows. We'll never grow. We'll never grow. Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will burn and never die. Looking through the eyes of a brand new life. And so just find me, just find me. Sparks will fly if we scream no. This is not how we're gonna go. We are the ones who will never let go. Just watch us run to where no one knows. We'll never grow. We'll never grow. We'll never grow. Welcome back. After the break, those who just tuned in might not know that we have the game between Lifecoach and BunnyMuffin. It's now 2-1 for Lifecoach. He has the Paladin deck left, and he will have to face either a Hunter or Warrior from BunnyMuffin.
Really exciting games now. Kind of things went as expected, I suppose. The big upset was Lifecoach actually beating the Paladin there with the Druid. A big upset with a Nervous there. So we're going into now Hunter or Warrior. It's really back and forth on that. I think this Paladin, it's it's really cool. I think you have 2 equalities, I believe.
Two? You think 2? We didn't see 2 equalities at once, so we are not sure of that. And from what I have seen of his playstyle, he didn't like hesitate to play it. So I think he is either it's only 1 equality and then he wants to save it for the best opportunity to cast it, or on the other hand, his playstyle is really safe and you know being more greedy with the opportunities here.
From my point of view, at least with how I play Paladin, it feels like when I'm playing the mid-range one, kind of the faster one, I want only 1 equality because I have a lot of minions on board. So I only want it for, let's say he plays Dr. Boom, I have a few tokens, I can just equality and kill a Dr. Boom, you know.
Okay.
But in the more greedy one, the way I play it at least is I start off by, you know, playing on curve, you know, into shield the minibar, etc. Then I always fall a bit behind, like in the early mid-game.
And
then
you use the equality consecration to clear the board and go with the big minions.
To win at the turn, it's kind of like a ramp, but with a slow mid game and then a huge clear, you know. And
okay, I get it.
we kind of saw that in the Paladin versus Paladin game. BunnyMuffin got slightly ahead, then there was no clear and he just lost, you know. But if we, let's say on turn 6 or something, if he'd seen a quality consecrate there, it would have been a totally different game here. For Lifecoach, as he could have just dropped turn to turn, you know, Tyrion Forging, Kaldasar, etc. Here. But we do see Lifecoach with a coin against the warrior. Now, that's really huge, getting the coin, because if it's going to be the Grim Patron warrior, it's huge not having the coin. It's horrible, yeah.
Your options when it comes to making a combo just drastically are lowered without the coin.
Yeah, you get the Warsong Grim Patron just a turn later, and you also have 1 less card, so there's less opportunities to draw the Thorazan. Now we see Thorazan, Kaldasar, Tyrion.
Well, we see the Armor Smith, Acolyte of Pain, and Sludge Belcher. We can assume that this is a Contra Warrior, right?
Yeah, this is an awesome hand for the start. I think you'd keep both the Armor Smith and the Acolyte.
Definitely.
An awesome start, but a horrible deck against...
And a Taskmaster.
That's the god... Wow, this is the god hand against Paladin, man. Jesus.
Yeah, he has a really great opening hand. This might be now very hard to for Lifecoach.
Yeah, like looking at these 2 decks on paper, I would have given the BunnyMuffin the huge disadvantage, but with this hand, I think it actually evens out. Because this is the best possible hand I can think of.
And even a Brawl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Brawl is also huge, you know. You maybe don't want it right now, but, you know, getting it on turn 4 is fine, you know, because you can have an option after that, you know, turn 5, turn 6, turn Brawl if you get behind. But I guess it's not as strong against the late game Paladin as you aren't as far behind, because with the mid-range Paladin, the way you kill the warriors just to get ahead and stay ahead, you know, kind of like a suit type playstyle. But this one is more of a, 1 at a time, it feels.
Now the Lifecoach has a problem with the Peacekeeper. If you Peacekeeper the Armor Smith, it doesn't have any effect on the board. So it's basically a free mana, free attack, free health minion. And it dies directly to the Taskmaster. So that's the problem. It trades, but it's still really weak. It doesn't have any effect.
It is, yeah. But there's also even the possibility of a weapon. Now, Shield Bearer, not too bad. You kind of want, like, the... you definitely want to go with the Acolyte now. I'm not even sure you trade. You probably trade because there's a possibility of coin Blessing of Kings. So
coin Blessing of Kings.
Yeah, it's.
I was caught off guard here. I don't think anyone uses that now.
It's popular in the mid-range one. If you run the Coghammer as well, because you have the possibility of the mini bot and the Coghammer.
Okay.
It's aggressive. Definitely, it's really aggressive. There's
look at this. That's the champion.
That's a huge draw. You definitely want to. Would you call it out? I suppose. I mean, there's Merc for the Owl, I suppose.
You can't play the Emperor until turn 5, so you're 2 turns away, well, 3 turns away if you use the coin. But I think you have to use the coin to play the True Silver Champion and get rid of that Acolyte of Pain, because if you don't do that, then you kind of leave Warrior open with options to draw maybe even 3 cards. If Warrior draws 3 cards, I think this is so hard to do anything with that kind of card advantage from the Warrior. And you know that there might be a Harrison Jones, and it won't be played until turn 5. So you have 2 attacks with the True Silver Champions now, instead of just 1.
I mean, the warriors already had on board and tempo, and if you can get ahead on cards as well, it's just, you know, then there's nothing you have the advantage in. But I think I like this owl. It gives the option of, you know, coining out the Thorison, yeah, after the 2 silvers. But
I will go for the 2 silver champion, but you know, maybe
they both have their merits, definitely. I kind of like just Taskmaster here.
To kill the owl?
Yeah. Just keep it simple, I suppose, for this one. It also means you can just hero power and have the shield block next to it as possible. But it's actually merit, I suppose, when you were talking about the 2 silver playing out now, so it's over when the Harrison threat comes.
Yeah.
That's a good
well,
point.
It's not like you can play around one off card in your opponent's deck, but I think that's something you would want to say and do when you see the opponent's hand, but not maybe it's not so intuitive when you just play the game. You know?
I mean, like, if we look at this, he goes for the 2 silver and he's going to get Harrison, but this is still the right play, you know, because he obviously can't know, you know.
Yeah.
But I think, consider, we were talking earlier about Harrisoning a small weapon with many charges versus a big weapon with 1 charge. This hand from BunnyMuffin is not as stacked as the hand before.
That's
so it's not as strong, I suppose.
Oh, second 2 silver champion. Okay, so now it got changed.
That's really strong.
What do you think now about 2 silver championing instead of the Emperor? Because the Emperor dies to the Harrison Jones.
I think both of them excellent, yeah.
And also dies to Shield Slam, like without any kind of, you know, investment in more armor. It's just 1 mana Shield Slam. Emperor dies.
There actually is, but the thing is, there's a possibility that you go coin Emperor into True Silver, Aldor, and Shieldbot all on 1 turn, that turn 6, into turn 7 Tyrion.
Oh, he goes for the 2 silver champion.
They're both really strong in this case, yeah. As I mean, let's say that he would go for the Emperor, he would just gotten shield blocked, and that would be the end of it, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree. And the shield minion bot is great against this kind of situation. It won't die to Taskmaster. It only dies to Fury Warx, which is just being drawn. So I think you just go Warx, Acolyte of Pain, ping the Divine Shield with your Acolyte of Pain, which is already silenced on board, and then you can finish it off with the X.
I think to consider is that he coined out the shield bot last turn, and the reason he does this is because he's going to use the Emperor. He doesn't need the coin to play out the the Tyrion Forging. I mean, because it'll be for 7 mana anyway, and it'll be turn 7. So that's the reason for that coin.
Yeah, that's true. But if you will play the Acolyte of Pain, you basically feed the Acolyte to the True Silver champion, and he will think about that. There's also there's also merit to play just this Shields Maiden, but I don't think so. It will just feel weak to when it will die to the mini bot and the attack from the 2 silver champion.
Yeah, I'm not sure like this too much. Like,
Shield Slam?
let's say he would have drawn the.
Okay.
Let's say he would have drawn the Grommash. It would have close to being game over. You know. I mean, unless there's no Tonsix Tyrion here, but it's rough. I think I wouldn't like that. I think I would like the Fireworks better than the Taskmaster there.
So now you just drop the Emperor, right? You killed both creatures, you got Emperor. The only question is, do I want to get 1 more points of damage? No. There's no difference because you can sacrifice the creature, so there's nothing to think of, I think.
There's no. I think that the weapon is the only thing to think of. You could definitely gonna run the 2/2 into the 3/2. That's for sure. The play is for sure that you're gonna go for the Emperor, but the weapon on the 2/2. It's not for sure. I don't know.
What about dropping 2 Peacekeepers?
I'm not. I think because it doesn't follow up into Tyrion. That's the only reason. Like if you could go
you're right
Aldor
with that.
Tyrion, that would be a possibility. If you go Aldor and then Tyrion on next turn.
That will be a play around the Shield Smash, right? Because then you can chip off the armor and play your big creatures afterwards. But I still think the Emperor is the best option.
I think the second option would be possible to consecrate and kill both the 2 health minions there. But I don't like him attacking if he's going to attack here. I think if I were him, he's thinking about it hard, but I think in the end, like, there's so many other targets.
Oh, he goes for the armor. So a heads-up play, but we know that there's a Shields Maiden and Shield block, so whatever he does, that doesn't matter.
It's true. Like he has never given him a great minion to have shield blocked, I suppose. Shield slammed. So he could have easily had the shield slam in there.
Oh, the second shield slam.
He can go for the shield maiden, I suppose, shield slam, which is a no-brainer in this situation.
Yeah, it is better. And he used the shield slam that he topped it. So also
giving him
thing.
less information, I suppose. Yeah.
Dr. Boom on 7. So you have 2 7 drops. Wow. You have 2 cool legendaries on turn 7. What do? You can't play Dr. Boom instantly.
I think the merit is going for Tyrion would be because you get 3 charges of the weapon, and you want to be starting to use those immediately, you know. So if you get them on turn 8, then you get the weapon, then you can't be hitting until turn 9, and then it's turn 9, then he will be going until turn 12, I suppose. So
the problem is, it will be killed by the shield slam, and you can also think about if you play the Tyrion, you want to put your opponent in the position when he will use the big game hunter to gain at the same time board position and card advantage.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think. What do you think about
Put your faith
just
in
going
the
back? There's no answer possible in the deck for Rag. Okay, now it's more of a debate. I think now you go Shield Slam after the Shield Maiden here. But if there will be no Shield Maiden, I think there will be some merit to going Rag after hitting with the 2-2.
I don't think so. I think still, even without the Shields Maiden, I would still go for the Shield Slam with maybe Shield Block.
Yeah, because if you have 5 armor, you might as well have 10. It doesn't matter, you know, at that point. And when you use both shield blocks, it becomes less of a threat. I mean, 36 health or 41 isn't a big deal, so you just cycle it.
And you don't want to be like vulnerable to a quality consecration or a quality pyromancer, because Lifecoach is known of playing that. And the Rag would just die with 2 creatures on board, so, well, with 1.
I'm just thinking, like, you know, what other case Rag would be better in than having a 6/6 minion on board? I think I would have liked the Shield Maiden better, because he's basically, is he thinking about the tempo or the options? And I think the tempo is more important here than the options, you know.
Well, he also thinks about the brawl. I think that's the reason. If you play the second minion, which is a 5/5, then you practically deny yourself the brawl value.
But the thing is, you don't want to be putting yourself in a position where you have the brawl, because it would put you in a lot of trouble. Then you're basically giving up the tempo, I suppose, and also playing the weapon gives the option for something like the top deck here, which is the Harrison. I mean,
so Harrison Peacekeeper kill the 1/5.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to keep the Harrison for other weapons? I don't think so. Maybe a Gorehole, but you don't even know if he plays one. So you either go Harrison now, or you wait for a Death Spite. That doesn't make any sense, right?
You mean you start with the Harrison for sure. There's some merit to going Sweater, because you know there's going to be no cool Taskmaster for the Grandmaster, for the lethal there. But
there might be a Whirlwind.
Yeah, that's true. But he will go to 12 if he attacks without going with the Sweater. So I think because he drew the taunt here, he can afford to just attack the Shield Maiden with a weapon.
And go Shredder.
Yeah, I think so. If he had gotten no taunt, he wouldn't have been able to do that, because let's say you just equip the weapon, then it's wide open again. So I think Sweater and attack here is the way to go.
And BunnyMuffin will go with the Ragnars, I think.
A second thing to consider is also he just doesn't have the 10 mana, I suppose, to go for the combo. So he has 1 turn to get the taunt back up before that happens.
I think I would still go for the Peacekeeper.
He has 2 as well. Yeah. That's actually 2, because if he does go for the Sweater, he has less health to spend on the weapon, you know. Because health becomes a resource now for value.
That's true. And also you can think of that Peacekeeper like a half of an antique heal bot. It just
it's true.
Healed for 4 points.
Absolutely. Actually, that's true, for 2 mana. But yeah.
Ragnaros has to come down here, I think.
So think about how better it would be, like, you know, before. Because now, let's say, it's always going to be 1 minion up, and that minion can just kind of quality trade in, you know, no matter what.
What is funny for Lifecoach is, even at 16 points of life, he wants to get hit in the face.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, Lay on Hands.
That's huge.
Yeah, but now you can drop Boom, Peacekeeper, Peacekeeper the Ragnaros, killed the Ragnaros for 1 point of damage. This is really great outcome, but then we know that it will be a brawl.
I think it maybe he can just afford it because he's so far ahead in the value anyway. Yeah.
Hero Power and Pile the Shredder? Nah.
He wants to go aggressive as a board because there's 43 health to go. Maybe that's his idea, but the thing is, we know that there's a Rag, so that there's going to be no Gore Howl. It's always Rag or Gore Howl, and if there would be a Gore Howl, he could go into the late game fatigue almost, you know, for the value there.
That's true.
But
it's like 6 cards.
Yeah, absolutely. But with Rag gone, no Gore Howl, he doesn't even need to stay, you know. He can just go aggressive and be greedy and go for the Dr. Boom and not give a damn if he gets, you know, brawled or not. But he's really thinking about it here.
He plays the Belcher and Hero Powers. Okay, so he kind of plays around the Brawl 2 with the Belcher.
The thing to consider though is that the Belcher is actually more crucial than Dr. Boom.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
health is more important than the actual slight value here. Or slight value, so there's a lot of value difference in Dr. Boom between the Belcher, but looking at that.
Also, important thing to know that if he plays Belcher now, he can afford to play Leon Hands next turn. Because he will have the taunt, which will be crucial against the creatures that will be played by BunnyMuffin this turn, so he can afford to, you know, spend the time to actually heal himself to get those crucial cards in the upcoming turn. Now the question is if BunnyMuffin can afford to play Sylvanas without anything else, and I think he can.
He has 43 health, so I think it's probably the way to go now.
Because the brawl next turn is insane. Unless Masterful Battle comes, and now you can sacrifice the Harrison Johns for Sylvanas and just go face with everything else. Well, you first attack with the Peacekeeper, Belcher, and your token. Then you attack for 5 with your face and play Masterful Battle, sacrifice the Harrison Johns for the Sylvanas. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. I think there's slight merit to not attacking with a token, so you can play into another token if it gets stolen.
Oh yeah,
I suppose, but it's still. I think there's a lot of options in that. But the thing is, even though this might get shut down, you know, the board will be full, and a full board is definitely what you want when you have a brawl in hand.
That's true, but then you can play Pile the Shredder and Dr. Boom after the brawl.
And then there'll be no counteraction. I mean, that may stabilize out, because you go Brawl and then you go Belcher. And let's say there's a Aldor, which would be maybe an average minion to stay alive after that, you know?
Yeah.
Then that just totally gets shut down by the Belcher. You have the Dr. Boom and the Shredder.
Oh, he didn't attack with the Belcher. Oh. That's weird, right? He didn't attack with the Belcher.
Yeah, he didn't. I'm not liking this at all.
Well, it's not bad, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, but considering, I suppose, yeah. He's like just giving up unnecessary tempo here.
Lifecoach is...
He looks a bit shaken off, yeah.
He looks confused. What happened?
Yeah. He looks like there was a misclick or something. That's his expression I'm getting from his face right now. Really confused. Yeah, he's shaking his head. What's going on there?
I think that's the reason why he missed the 3 points of damage. You know?
Very uncharacteristic there. But let's look at BunnyMuffin's hand now. There's not much merit to going Dr. Boom, I suppose, with not that much value on the board. What do you think about these 2 Belchers?
2 Belchers? Yeah, that seems powerful, I would say.
Yeah.
The Quartermaster will not achieve anything. And I don't know what to do when someone plays 2 Belchers.
It's really hard, yeah. I suppose you want the 5 damage weapon here.
I don't like the Dr. Boom at all. If there's like a Big Game Hunter,
or even anything really, you can just even fade into it, like fade into a gun consecrate. But I think we talk about now. We see we see the mind control tech here from Lifecoach, and that again goes to the early mid game when you fall behind as the control paladin. Same thing that happens with Ram Druid. Then at that point you can play the mind control tech and just get ahead, because if you're behind, your opponent probably has 4 minions, so you can kind of stabilize against mech mates, against, you know, the shoe decks against the aggro paladins, so that's definitely a good card in the control paladin.
Now Lifecoach has to think what to do with that board, and I think the Belcher is kinda saving him.
It really is, yeah. We haven't seen a Grandmaster though, and he has thrown away both his Taskmasters, BunnyMuffin, so it's rough. Is he now
So Master and
Quartermaster?
kill the 1/1 and play Belcher.
I think he has to go Quartermaster. With all those tokens up. I can't imagine anything else. Trade in. This is not bad, yeah. Yeah, this is not bad at all. Quartermaster is the, you know, boogeyman card, I suppose, against against Warrior. Some people even keep Quartermaster in their starting hand when you're playing mid paladin.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good thing to note. But the Boombot actually hit the least desirable target, I think.
Absolutely, and this is just rolling into the value state for the paladin. This is definitely where he wants to be. This.
You have to brawl.
Yeah, I think so.
And then you have to play the Belcher because it fits the curve. He would favor the shield names, but there's no way he can play that.
If you remember back to the point where there was Shield Maiden on board and he decided to play the Shield Block instead of Shield Maiden, you know, he could have pushed for more damage, you know, and he could have had him at like 10, 12 damage at the moment.
Yeah, you're right.
So any time that the Grandmaster pops up, it's just over, you know, which is the best way to kill a paladin if you control paladin if you're playing warrior.
Or anyone else.
Indeed, yeah. But yeah, when deck is greedier than you. What do you think about this knife juggling there?
I was thinking about it for a second.
I don't hate it. Let's say you get like a Death Bite now, be huge.
Well, is it?
I mean, with the possibility, I suppose, of going just full face and pushing damage, but okay, so we're gonna see the big amount coming down no matter what.
And
but
that's good for Lifecoach because then he baits out for consecration, right? Probably.
I mean, Shield Maiden is the more aggressive choice.
What do you think about Hero Power, Belcher, Bingham Hunter?
It has its merits, definitely. I think it's between, yeah.
Because you don't want to play the Shield Maiden when there's two Boombots on the board.
I think I like the Shield Block, the Hero Power, Big Hunter better. But you go face. Yeah, you absolutely go face.
Okay.
No, there's no merit doing that. No. Why on God?
Paladin is already kinda low. You know?
Yeah, you want to set him up for Grommas.
Yeah. You have the second Taskmaster.
But I think that this play is right, but you go for the face. The thing is, now the Consecrate becomes crucially important. You can clear with Consecrate.
So you first attack with your Palted Shredder, right? Do you?
No, I think you start with the Consecrate and then go for the Boombot onto the 3-1.
Oh yeah.
And then you can clean up either with
No,
the 3-3.
why 3-1? No. If you Consecrate first, one Belcher is 3-2, second one is 3-3. So I think you kill one of the Belchers and then play Consecration. Maybe you sacrifice the 3-3 first. So you kill the 3-3.
I was thinking I'd value the Paladin Feather over the Boombot and the 3-3.
Yeah, okay.
But it doesn't matter in this case. Like he's not going to lose on value anyway. He's going to lose on tempo and burst. So
that's true. So now you kill the 3-3 with your 3-3, and then you kill the little slime with your.
Put this apple on your head.
Okay, I didn't anticipate that because I wanted to play the Baltic Sky Golem, so you kind of caught me off guard here.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if he'd gone for the naturally, he should have probably gone for it before the Paladin Feather to get the extra juggle from the pop that minion. Maybe you were thinking there was a chance of a Doomsayer or something that would be bad to have minion for.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Well, this is the best outcome actually, because he hit with the bomb.
Yeah.
So that was really crucial. Wow.
But let's say the bomb actually.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it's a huge swing turn here. Wait, what if you go Cruel Taskmaster execute? That's gonna clear the board.
Clear the board. Yeah.
That's wow. Everything is turning around. But if we go down to last turn, there was a 4 health minion. 3 health minion. You could actually kill that with a Boombot, and then you have only the Slut Belcher left and the face. So it's 50-50 to hit the Slut Belcher, and if it hits, then you can just clear without and having the Shredder intact, Let's say let's say if you had the Shredder, the possibility would be either having, you know, a 3-2 on board now, or having a Shredder.
Well,
it's different, yeah.
Yeah, it's different. I'm not sure if it's better, but definitely playing the Taskmaster into Execute into Baron Geddon is just perfect.
This is godlike, yeah. He's gonna put him down to 15, clear the board.
And Lifecoach has, at least now, no answer to the attack of Baron Geddon next turn, so he will be at 8 points of life.
Yeah. And I mean, just a Grommash then, or a weapon, you know, like he's
two attacks with the weapon. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't go for it. Oh, that's really weird. I think.
The thing is, when you're playing against Priest, with Priest against Warrior, or Paladin against Warrior, we want to save the Belcher a lot for the possibility of Alexstrasza and a combo. If the Belcher had been dead, you would have had. There would be no saving grace. Like he would have just been down to like 6 health or something. And what do? There's nothing you can do really. Yeah, any big weapon. There's 2 Death Spites left. There's a Grommash left. Anything like that, and the game is just over. There's no comeback to that. I mean,
a slight misplay from Lifecoach here. He could have put the Paladin Shredder in between the minions because there are so many 2-drops that benefit both of the minions on your sides.
Yeah, the Direwolf, for example, the Flame Tongue Totem, so a lot of options there. There's actually some merit to execute, cruel Taskmaster executing going face.
That's very aggressive, and I don't see BunnyMuffin doing that. He's playing really safe most of the time.
He is, but he needs to identify that so 8 cards left for both players here. The thing is, the cards that are left for BunnyMuffin, there's at least 1 Armor Smith we know of.
Yeah, 1 Armor Smith, 2 Acolytes were played, so 1 Armor Smith, 1 Fear War Axe, 2 Death Spites.
There's Alexstrasza left.
Alexstrasza, yeah, and Grommash.
Yeah.
So that's 6.
So there's decent amount of stuff left actually.
What else?
There could be. It depends on the deck, I suppose. There could be, you know, a Sylvanas. There could be a Lotheb. There could be all sorts of different things.
Yeah, might be there.
But I mean, I think there's nothing left to execute. You know, I think you absolutely just go face here. You're not gonna win in the late game value. No.
Oh, yeah. As I said, it will go like very, very slow. This.
Is he thinking about executing the Paladin Shredder?
I think so. He goes for the Golem.
I mean, what possible?
I don't think so. That's right.
I mean, he kills his own guy with this play. Like.
Yeah, and that's really awful in my opinion.
Considering the cards are left at least in the deck.
Equality now, that doesn't really matter. So now you sacrifice the Keeper, which wouldn't be possible if the Execute wouldn't have been played.
I mean, let's look at the possibility of just executing the Belcher and doing nothing more, you know.
Well, if we think of that, you should have just used it on the turn when you play the Baron Geddon, right? I
mean, the thing is, like, he gets the cool Taskmaster, he throws that away for almost nothing here, but...
Yeah, Lifecoach has to go all in with the with everything, basically. He has to push for damage. He knows that he might be dead really soon. Alexstrasza coming down, okay.
It does little to nothing.
And equality, you heal your opponent for 2, that's unfortunate.
This is the perfect time for equality. I don't see a better one coming up, at least.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So equality, Knife Juggler. Well, okay, you have no more spots to spawn the hero power.
But let's say he just, you know, executes and goes face. He can literally just sit for 4 turns. He has the health for it. Draw the Death Spite or the Grommash and win.
That's true. Yeah. So that's the reason why Lifecoach has to play the Knife Juggler, just to push for more damage.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, because I mean, if there's a Death Spite into Grommash, he will still win. So he needs to give him as few turns as possible to draw into that, because he knows if that combo comes up, it's just lights out. So Death Spite would be the card to draw here.
And Grommash next turn. Yeah.
Yeah. He has 2 left. Armor's
left. But that's unfortunate. Well, maybe not unfortunate, like... Okay, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's about the worst card you could possibly draw in this situation.
6 cards left for...
Consecrate does
well, you can kill first the Armor Smith. No, you don't want to do that. So you can use your knife juggler into armor smith, kill it off with your weapon.
Yeah.
No, you can kill it off with one of your dudes, because you will use the hero power anyway. So then you go with the Palted Shredder, go with the one juggle after you kill the armor smith, and maybe you can kill it off with your hero power.
I mean, 14 or 15 doesn't matter in this case for the Paladin. He's out of the 12 burst range, and there's no Taskmaster left as well, so it's definitely...
Oh, he goes for the mind control deck. I didn't like that, to be honest. I would rather sacrifice the Pallet Shredder and count on not having a Doomsayer here. But he goes super safe with that.
Now, I think in this case, it's going to come down to an execute.
Wouldn't matter if he would draw into a...
He gets the Death Spider, wow. This just opens the whole game up here.
So it's like 4 cards left for the warrior, I think?
It's about even, I'd say, yeah. You don't execute, I believe. The thing is, at least there's nothing to be played next turn, so you might as well... You might as well just not go for it here. See, the mini-bot does absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
this is opening up to a possible value
5 cards,
play.
20% chance to win the game instantly.
Get the Grommash, yeah, and if he wins with the warrior now, this will become quite a series as the hunters, the last left, and that's gonna be excellent against the Paladin.
And no, it's not a legend.
Ooh.
We could have seen the the border of the game of the card when it was being drawn from the deck. So we know he can use the Death Spite now and kill off the whole board.
I think you have to go face.
No. Why did you do that?
You can clear, but your health is way more important.
No, that was awful.
Yeah.
That was really awful. He plays... BunnyMuffin makes the same mistake every single game. He plays too safe. I think that's the thing you see with unexperienced players, They're new to the stage, they feel frightened kinda, so they play more reserved than the pro players.
Let's think about this as if he had 7 health now, if he'd gone face, what would have that resulted in?
Second Death Spite?
Okay.
That wouldn't be enough. But still...
That would have had a lethal the next turn, I suppose.
Yeah, but if you would go face, he would be at 7, so drawing a Grommash would actually be lethal, because he has 3 and 4 from the Grommash without ever activation, so that was setting up for next turn lethal.
Yeah, sure.
So definitely a mistake with the last turn there, and he would have a 25% chance to win the game instantly with the last draw he had. So really exciting matches. The last one was the Nail Biter, I think. And well, congrats to Lifecoach. He goes with the he has the first win in his group, and he will be waiting for the winner of who's left in the group. Reynard and
Tang, the South Korean player. I think Lifecoach played excellent in this series. Yeah, I think he has more experience than both in the booth and just in general in tournaments now. So I think the experience just came through for him in the end, taking the match 3-1. But it could have been wide open, I suppose.
There was maybe one mistake made by Lifecoach when he traded the Harrison Jones into the Sylvanas before attacking with the Belcher.
Yeah, but it looked like that was some sort of malfunction.
Something happened, and I have to ask him about this situation. And that's it. That's the end of the match. First match of the Group C, and I'm really curious what the analysts have to say about this match.
Yes. Gonna throw them back to them, but coming up then after that is gonna be Reynard versus Tang. So over to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Lothar and Caldi. Really long match, man. Lifecoach never fails to deliver on the length of the series as well as the quality of play. But he takes the series 3-1 over BunnyMuffins, making me look pretty good. I picked the Lifecoach. You also did too, Aqua. So you're feeling pretty good. Nimsh, what happened there? Why did BunnyMuffins drop the series in your opinion? We heard Lothar and Caldi talk a little bit about it.
Oh yeah.
In your opinion, what happened?
Well, as I stated in the beginning, like BunnyMuffins could surprise Lifecoach. Like he could bring really creative decks and Lifecoach will struggle to adjust. But what we've seen from BunnyMuffin was like mostly cookie cutters. We've seen him playing Paladin. Well, he did play the Cog Hammer, which is not that standard. Like some people still play it, and it was super surprising. But it was a bit different, not different enough to surprise Lifecoach. Lifecoach was able to adjust and play the series perfectly. Where BunnyMuffin struggled a bit, I think at some point.
He brought Paladin and Warrior. Those are two classes that we don't actually normally see in the current metagame, even though they are standard decks. Those are two classes, like especially Warrior. How often are you seeing Warrior nowadays? Even though it feels like it could be a strong pick if everyone's bringing like Rogue and Hunter. In this scenario where you know some people are going to be bringing Zoo, especially with Zoo that's a little bit more problematic, it's really interesting to see if it works out for him. Maybe it could be an overall metagame call. I'm not sure. What do you think, Aqua?
Well, Druid's really popular right now, which is a problem for Warrior. So that's something that can probably take a lot of players like not to bring Warrior. But we do have the Grim Patron Warrior as well. That's been showing up in some tournaments.
No one's bringing it, though,
but no one's bringing it.
Not yet. But it's a really broken deck. As soon as someone realizes it, especially against Paladin, you beat the pants off of Paladin because they can't ever pressure you. And then just get Grim Patrons against 1/1s. It's awesome.
I mean, like I said, it beats Paladin. It beats anything it can trade with well, or keep their patrons alive. Like Mech Mage does fairly well against Zoo. Zoo's quite popular now, so maybe Patron Warrior is the way to go instead of Control. But yeah, we looked at Zosis lineup earlier, and it looked like it was there to counter Warrior. And BunnyMuffin is the player who brought Warrior, and it didn't work out. So I don't know. It's just didn't really do a lot that game. And of course, the Paladin always has a good matchup against Warrior, can kind of grind it out. And looking at Lifecoach's Paladin, he had everything. He had the Calfazard, very greedy. He had a Sky Golem with a Dr. Boom, another greedy choice. So he had everything he needed to win that game pretty much.
Yeah, but
super
like
grindy. Coming
to the beginning of the series, I think like BunnyMuffin did match up versus Lifecoach really poorly with the decks. Like the first game, Paladin versus Druid being a very difficult match and a very, very difficult game to play where, he didn't get the cards he needed. Like you either go aggro or you go control, where he actually went 1-for-1 against Druid. Again, a really greedy Druid from Lifecoach with Nourish.
And he'd even used Nourish for card advantage. He used Nourish for the mana gain so that he can out-tempo his opponents in the following turns. But it didn't even matter the fact that he was down in cards at one point. He fought really efficiently, like you said.
It's like you were saying that eventually the Druid will just outvalue the Paladin, and Lifecoach was able to sustain that long where the Paladin was looking pretty decent, and then he was trying to out-trade him, and then he lost hand advantage, and Lifecoach was sat with everything in his hand, Dr. Boom, Sludge Belchers, for example, and the Paladin just fell short on any way to deal with anything Druid had.
Lifecoach is so patient as a player. Like, he's so patient, he's waiting for the rope. Even if he finishes his thought process.
He's waiting for the rope?
He's still waiting for the rope because he's
like, he deliberately says, I'm going to make my decision once the rope starts?
I think he does. Like, he wants to take all the time he has, and the viewers they want the rope.
He missed an attack, right? With Sylvanas because of it. He missed 5 damage. Either that, or he was really playing around something that's next level, but he just ran out of time.
Or maybe that was just BM.
Maybe it's just BM. The fact that he was winning so convincingly with Handlock that it didn't matter against Paladin.
Which was again a great matchup for Lifecoach. Handlock versus Paladin is definitely very tough.
Any plays stuck out to you guys in terms of something that was interesting, worth noting, or something that could have happened differently for the entire series outcome or game outcome?
I like the situation where Lifecoach had Twilight Drake on board, and Twilight Drake had 1 health, and he could silence his own Twilight Drake, which is just crazy and insane as a line of play. I'm not sure if he did see it or if he opted to not do it, because he still the match still went in his favor. But the fact that you can silence your Twilight Drake for the Shadow Flame to have more value was actually pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, all of it was Harrison Jones, and he had the Mountain Giant drawn perfectly.
Oh yeah,
it's one of those things where you're focused, like, this owl silence has to go on Tyrion, or like, I know my opponent might be playing bigger threats like Sylvanas. I don't want to use my owl on this, especially if he's only running a few of them. He is running more traditional handlock, so I'd have to imagine he runs 2 owls, but some lists now, Warlock, that are more control-oriented only have 1 owl. So really interesting that ended up being a different play, but I think the Mountain Giant was still really powerful. It killed like 3 minions and had some really good value.
I think the not playing the owl for Lifecoach pretty much sums up Lifecoach, because he had the owl, he had that play probably available to him, and he probably knew it, but he was, like you were saying, Tyrion's going to come along, and I'm the type of player who can just sit back and wait for these things. And it's though that his style of play, very conservative, very patient, that wins him these games. And keeping that owl was probably along his kind of play style. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait, and this owl's going to get more value than just a more optimized Shadow Flame at this turn. I mean, I'm going to have to wait. This Tyrion is going to be a problem at some point. So he was thinking about that probably.
Did he go to rope that turn?
Probably, I think so. And then
possibly.
he slammed down the mountain giant and then waits the face. And pretty much it. Lifecoach did end up also having some greedy moves. A few of us were agreeing that he was playing very optimistically, but ended up panning out for him. And now he's 3-1 in the winners match where he'll play against Reynad versus Tang. That's going to be coming up on stream, guys. So we're going to take a few minutes, and when we come back, we're going to resume Group C here at Gfinity Spring Cup number 2. 10 minutes. Dang.